development. We all know that it is important to reflect. We all know that we want to make considered decisions based on careful thought, and that in order to do that we have to give ourselves thinking time. But as a teacher or a senior leader, quite often our lives feel like this, and we feel we don't quite have the space to give the thought that we might like to give to the different experiences that we're having and the different things that we're learning. We can feel beleaguered, we can feel that our day-to-day lives are so manic that actually we can't stop and take stock, because if we do, we won't manage all the things that we want to try to accomplish, and we worry about being overwhelmed. We can also feel the weight of responsibility. We have responsibility to the students, we have responsibility to other staff, and again, if we stop and think, we might not be able to fulfil all those responsibilities. So we can feel the weight of other people's expectations. However, we do need to find ways of giving ourselves time to process the different experiences that we have. So what I want to do is talk about just some of my thoughts about how we can make sure we are properly reflecting. Twitter, blogs, teach meets, brilliant. A brilliant way of engaging in dialogue about what we do, how we do it, how we could do it differently, how we could do it better. And I think that's brilliant, but sometimes I feel that with blogging there are an awful lot of monologues happening simultaneously, and what I would like is just more dialogue and more reading and thinking and responding to each other. I do not write a blog, and it's partly because I'm trying to do a doctorate, and any other reason not to tackle my 60,000 word thesis is just not to be advised at this stage of the process. But also because actually I really like reading blogs, thinking about blogs. Now I started teaching in 1980. Some of you weren't even born then. But actually now I am learning, I am thinking, I am rethinking, I am changing my mind about things because of what I'm reading on Twitter, what I'm reading in blogs, what I'm hearing at teach meets. And I will always maintain that changing your mind is a strength, not a weakness. Rethinking things is good. So Twitter, blogs, teach meets, fantastic, but can you give yourself time to process what you read and what you hear? After this teach meet, can you give yourself time to sit down and really think through what have I learnt and what difference will it make? You might choose to do that in a blog, but I would suggest that actually it isn't about sharing, it's about thinking and processing, and sometimes just a quiet personal journal entry actually will help you process your learning and will help you reflect. I think reading, obviously, is brilliant. It's a great way of stimulating reflection. But does anyone feel that there is just so much fantastic stuff out there that actually it's overwhelming and I don't know where to start? I'm glad I'm not the only one. When I was ahead, I used to try to read one good educational book in each long holiday. I am a great fan of less is more. Kev said it today. John Thompson said it brilliantly in his blog. I would say perhaps read less, think more, learn more. I also think, still on the theme of reflection, that learning something outside education is a really, really good way of reflecting on what it means not to be the expert, to be a learner. Harry Flesherwood, brilliant blog about dance lessons and what he learned about learning rather than what he learned about dancing. When I started teaching, I had singing lessons and I also had horse riding lessons, and I'm still not brilliant at either, but it made me a better teacher because it made me reflect on what it actually was to be a learner. And sometimes we tend to teach things that we're really good at and we're really confident in, and we need to reflect a lot more on what it's like to be in our lessons when we are neither expert nor confident. And finally, I want to say something about refreshment. I think you need to find time when you can think about things that aren't actually to do with education. I'm a strong believer in holiday time, carving out some time where you try very hard not even to think about work. And I think Twitter can be a bit of a problem here, because if you have one Twitter account with everything in it, then you catch up with Twitter and you read all these blogs and things, or you see them, and it means you're thinking about education. So either use your list or even have separate Twitter accounts. Have days where you don't check your school emails. Have days where you reflect on other things. I think it will make you a better teacher, a better school leader. Thank you to everybody whose pictures I pinched. That's my email, that's my Twitter handle. Please do keep in touch with me. If I can help you in any way as you go through your process of reflection, I would be very happy to do that. Thank you for listening.